Okay, good day, and of course good day. My name is Edgar and welcome to another episode of Edgar Opens. Today we're going to be opening this special binder. This binder is something that I assembled combining Japanese OCG, Korean OCG, and English TCG cards. This is to showcase meta-relevant cards, meaning monsters, traps, and spells, and also what is the also also tech cards that I personally use myself, that that could be viable for one game or two maybe. And I was gonna open this instead, but I was still waiting for the original. This is a fake, actually. I was gonna show a fake, like the beware for fakes video that I bought from a friend for a very cheap price of something dollars, but like he was very frustrated about it, and I was like, oh, I'll just take it off from your hands, make a video out of it. How about that? And he said, okay, sure. Without further ado, guys, let's open the binder. First of all, let's begin with the meta-relevant monsters and spells, I guess. Mostly archetypes. Let's begin with the archetype. So Gookie, very relevant to the meta right now. They're dominating, almost next to Trickstars. Gookie is still incredibly crazy. They don't know what to ban. They want to ban Divine Sword, Phoenix Blade. They want to ban Firewall Dragon. They want to ban Nightmare Goblin. Just banned. If you're gonna ask me, just ban Firewall. That's it. It does stop the combo right there. Still more Gookie. Some of them are new, some of them are not. Then we're going to the Nightmare, the board that makes Gookie so crazy. Like, other than the Gookie warrior combo that they keep using, that doesn't really make a lot of point and sense to me. Yeah, make this board and your board is pretty much GG, but you can still it can still be clearable. There's a lot of things to do to clear it. A lot of people just feel trapped, and if they don't have that card, then it's pretty much GG right there. Especially if you have to try to get Wizard on three monsters. Oh, sorry, 3 monsters that are linked to it. It's a pretty tough board to break. Let me give a little bit of shout out to Spirals. Spirals went down super crazy over the years, and that's not, you do see it every now and then as a rogue. You do still see it. However, it's not as relevant as it used to be. Like, so there was a guy who used Spiral Trickstars one time. It was really cool, and I liked it. Borlo Dragon is to put in there. Still one of the most relevant. While Boral Sword just came out, it might not be as relevant anymore, but the mind control function of the Borload still is ridiculous. Especially it doesn't target. Mind control, Chaos Max, or a really powerful boss monster, you win the game, basically. Alright. And Nightmare Goblin. I don't have Firewall Dragon, I'm sorry. So I just put Nightmare Goblin here because it's a walking skill drain. I feel it's much better. After you set up Firewall Dragon, this would have been better, like, as a closing setup. Then, moving on. And, sorry, I don't have Nightmare Unicorn as well. I didn't pull it on the Flames of Destruction. Moving on to Trickstars. Trickstars, are they gonna hit Reincarnation? They shouldn't. Like, this is the only thing that Trickstar is going for them. Hit Licorice. You can hit Licorice. Licorice is a better hit than... Because this is the card that actually burns you. This just banishes the cards. This card burns you for drawing. Narcissus, not really. Lilibel, a little bit. They should be okay. But Licorice needs to go. This card needs to go. Alter, guys. Do we need to ban something in Alter, guys? Probably not. Probably not. They're pretty fair. They're pretty powerful. But if you face someone who knows how to counter the traps, then it's pretty much GG. They're pretty much stunned, unfortunately. They do brick pretty hard. Surprisingly. So we got tokens and multifigure. Good one. Then True Dracos. True Dracos have not seen any like toppings. Like toppings are, I guess, amazing winning representation in the last 3 months. Well, it's August, so last 3 months, yes. Ever since Masterpiece got banned. However, this came to 3. This one came to 1, and it's now a little bit more. It's faster actually. It's a faster stun deck now. It does work when it's played correctly, and it does not work when you play it. Sometimes, some players that I saw plays it a little bit too aggressively. Some people play it, especially in a mirror match. If you go second, that's basically you win. You win, unless you have something on your sleeve in your back row. But anyway, moving on to Sky Strikers or Brandish Maiden. Brandish Maiden, I like Brandish Maiden's name better, because that's better. For the ban list, they shouldn't ban anything. They should limit drones for sure. Hornet drones or Hornet bit. Make it 1 to reduce the consistency, and probably put engage into semi-limited. That would work. That would have been, if it's a $500 deck, now it's gonna be a $400 deck, $400 US dollar deck. Because less engage. Like, those engage are really expensive. OMG. Sky Striker, McArmory. Not a lot of people use this, actually. Monster Reborn. Not a little bit for a rogue side. Some people do consider ABCs as still relevant. It is. It is. Every now and then, you do see some victories. But Winter Cherries just shuts this deck down. I'm sorry. It does. However unfortunate that sounds. And now we're moving to the hand traps. Hand traps, not a lot of people use actual traps because they're slow. These are quick effects. Most of them anyway. This one needs to have more monsters. These 3 can activate almost super quick. This one's a bit slower since it only activates on your opponent's turn. This one is also quick. Lancea to counter Trick Stars, to counter banish cards that banish a lot. Droll and Lockbird. This one is amazing because this shuts down enemy searching like forever. Honest for light monsters. Should have put something else, but I should put Saravius in here, like or Neospatian. No, actually, it's just Saravius is fine. Just a really cool tech to use, but this one is also good. Not really. There's not a lot of light monsters left in the meta right now. There's not a lot, honestly. So this can be, it could be a tech now, but right now it's a pretty okay hand trap. Ghost Ogre Destroys. This one shuts down the graveyard, and this is crazy. I love this card better than Ash Blossom, actually. Ash Blossom can search, yes. Ash Blossom still is pretty much the best hand trap out there. On this format, yes, maybe. But for my personal opinion, this is the best one. Then Droll, then Ash. Then this one. Then this one. Then this one. Then this one. Oh, sorry. Then this one, then this one. Okay. So how did I rank that? Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, 7, and 8. Always. Moving on. Next page, please. Ah, yes. Relevant spells. For Foolish Burial Goods for those crinky spells. For Sky Strikers, this one, if you want to like send your Kagari or send Lightsworn, Burning Abyss, which is meta again, surprisingly. Reinforcement of the army, Scapegoat. This needs to be taken care of. Like limit 1, ban it. Then people are gonna then use something slower like Scapegoat, which does utilize it as well, which is kind of nice. Then moving on to what you usually see on an extra deck. You see these on 7s to spam those tokens, those crazy ass tokens. Utopia for sure. Proxy Dragon. Sometimes you see it, sometimes you don't. Curious. I see it in more than one Lightsworn deck. Like I see it in zombies. I see it in Where do I see it? I saw one time. I saw it on what was that deck? I saw it in Burning Abyss as well, and I saw it on a very crazy deck. Like it's a mixture of Twilight. It's a Twilight Abyss. I was like, okay, sure. Natural Beast, of course, to have that amazing negations. Trishula, of course, to disrupt your opponent. Sucks. And Black Rose Dragon to commit an amazing board wipe. Now moving on to traps. Are these relevant? Some people say yes, some people say don't. But frogs have been a bit rogue recently, and I've just added them because they do still think that they still are relevant. But if your enemy has red reboot, say I'm so sorry. Just say sorry. Next is quick spells. This one is usually on decks. This one, compared to MST, is more usually used than the cosmic ones. They rather destroy it than to banish it. I'd rather banish them myself because True Dracos, some cards that banish like Metal Foes, they are really crazy and relevant. That they have secondary effects that activate on the grave, which is pretty crazy. Solemn Strike, Solemn Judgment, Solemn Warning, Solemn Set for sure. And to shut them off, Red Reboot. Always have three traps. I usually watch that YouTube video. I don't remember who said that. You should always run 3 traps. No, you should run whatever makes your deck consistent. If your deck doesn't even need traps, then don't run traps. Next page, please. Ah, yes, we're moving on to the texts. Some say these are good texts, some say they're bad. Depends. These are the texts that I actually use. For traps, we have Imperial Iron Wall, 2 for banishment. Mistake, a slower version and probably a cheaper version of Draw and Lockbird. And it is a forever version. It's usually used on stun decks, but if your deck doesn't search that much, or just depends on the draw, then this card is for you. Cloak and Dagger. I found this on a store in LA in Torrance. And I was like, whoa, you're only selling this for 25 cents. I bought 3. I bought a set. Oh, no, sorry. I bought about 2. Yeah, I only bought 2. Because there was only 2. And the effect clearly states, declare 1 monster card name. If your opponent normal summons, special summons, or flip summons that monster, face up, remove that monster, and this card from play. So that is pretty amazing for a card that is really slow. Yeah, like traps now are super slow. They're not very fast, unfortunately, except for Red Reboot, but it does have a very costly price. Golden Apples. In today's format, it can be used. A little slow. This one is pretty good. Link Trap Hole instead. Like, some people just use Floodgate Trap Hole because it's much faster. And it does flip a lot more enemies. But this one, for Link Spammers, bang. Flip your Borlo Dragon here, bang. Magic Drain for spell heavy cards. Oh, I'm gonna use Engage. Hey, Magic Drain. You have to discard your Widow Anchor or Hornet Bit, and that's how it happens. Punch in a Box. Surprisingly, when your opponent declares attack, while they control 2 or more monsters, target the attacking monster, negate that attack, and if you do, send the other monster they control to the graveyard. Then the targeted monster loses attack equal to the original attack. That's pretty crazy. That is crazy, especially if you do this on the battle step. Eesh. It does have a big consequence. Okay, this card, they call it Shrub Serpent in the OCG. Is it Shrub Serpent? But Waking the Dragon is what we call in the TCG. And you can summon almost any kind of card if your opponent destroys it. Or if I'm reading that correctly. It's Korean, so. Quaking Mirror Force. Yes, you have to use it on special cases if you're really having trouble. But on this format, with links, it's really hard to use. You only use this to counter those pesky dinos and pesky extra deck fusion XYZ cards that I can't really get rid of that easily, that are really hard to be destroyed. Like someone still summons the Diabol's Dragon or a Chaos Max, you can use that to like shut them down. Shut up. Then compulse them out of the way. Compulse is now 3, which is kind of nice. Like target those link monsters. The tech that I usually keep on the side before my Noble Knights is Exchange of Spirit. This has been eroded so many times, and it has a specific condition, and if you meet that condition, then you're good to go. However, if you do not meet that condition, I'm afraid there's nothing much to talk about. There's nothing much to talk about. Changing Destiny it's like a Path of Destiny for like the grapher animation, but it's something I like. It's a card that I like. Either gain damage, either takes damage, or you gain life points. Usually you gain more life points that way, or just take the damage. Rocket Hand is a useful trap. It's a weird equip card. There's a equip trap. It should have been an infinite or continuous trap, but I guess not. I use it for special occasions, but I didn't use it against my friend. He's using heroes, and if he summons Dystopia, I use it against his Dystopia. He'll just activate a quick effect, giving him a +1 and giving me a minus. So no. Break Through the Scale, card that I use to, hey baby, to counter those negations, and when it gets sent to the graveyard, I can use it again one more time, which is kind of nice. But these cards are really slow. Magic Arm Shield, do I really need to tell you what that does? It doesn't do a lot. It doesn't do a lot. Okay, moving on to the traps. Oh, are we still in traps? Sorry. Moving on to a little slightly better traps. Torrential, yes. Is this relevant? Yes, it is. But I usually can just consider this as a tech, especially now that is up to 3, which is kind of, it sucks. That is it's up to 3. It is up to 3. Crazy. Robin Goblin, I use it for my True Dracos to just troll my opponent. Hey baby, you take damage. You have to, like, I already board wipe them, and whatever remains on their card has to be discarded. How that sucks. That sucks so much. This one to prevent kaijus. I hate kaijus. Like, I've just been practicing with Metaltron, the true Draco combatant, and unfortunately, it is not. While it is immune to spells, traps, and monster effects when you tribute all 3 kinds, it doesn't prevent tributing. I'm like, seriously? Seriously? I thought it was unaffected. I guess not. I guess it's never usually affected. It's not all that good or powerful or immune to those kinds of things. Mistaken Arrests. I love Mistaken Arrests because it is a draw and lock word, a much slower draw and lock word, and it's something you still have to set. But it is something that your opponent cannot counter with Call by the Grave, which is, I think it's better. You can use it. Like, you can use Mistaken Arrest, and draw and lock word at the same time. If you're really on a budget, if you're really on a tight budget, you can do that for sure. Especially Droll's price. I hate. Like, come on, it's just hand traps. Why are they so expensive? I hate it. Anyway, Shared Ride is the max C of this format. There's no way that your opponent can counter this with Call by the Grave as well, because it's a spell. But it can be countered by Dark Bribe or like a Divine Judgment or a counter shot that negates spells. And it's a pretty good card, but do you really need it in this format? Yes, it's a good tech. It's not meta relevant. They might unban Max C. They might. So this might be more relevant than, or like just to make your opponent pass. Oh, Maxi, pass. Forbidden Dress is something good. I think I like this better than Forbidden Lance, because Forbidden Lance is only for spells and traps. Forbidden Dress is better. It gives you that immunity from all other card effects, which is amazing. But it does have drawbacks. Next, we have some more cool spell texts. Mind Control, a lot of people use this, maybe. Reasoning, some people still use this on meta decks, surprisingly. I'm not really too familiar on how it is used, unfortunately. Like, especially if your opponent knows, oh, you have a level 5 in there, I'll just declare that, or level 4. Like, so I don't usually use that. Heat Wave. Heat Wave is a very good card that I found. I've been researching decks. Like, how do I prevent my opponent from summoning? Oh, I'll just use Heat Wave, especially if I'm using a normal monster. It's easy. However, Heat Wave is going to be special as... This is good for dinos, actually. It prevents you from... And next turn, you have a direct attack. Unquestionable, or... They can't normal summon. I think they can set. I think so. I think they can set. Solar Release is for those cards that likes to activate on the grave, or like to prevent those chaos summons, and also to prevent like cycling cards back. Oh, I'm just gonna banish you. Pot of Duality. It does have a drawback of you can't special summon, but it is a good card tech for True Dracos, especially if you want to prevent your opponent, if you want to increase the consistency of your deck. Oh, I'm not getting the right card. Oh, I get to choose 3. Which one do I get? Fissure, like a free, singular, Reigeki. Usually your opponent suffers from this. Where Art Thou? It's a good tech because, well, you take damage from it, but it is a good tech to grab your hand trap. Usually. Like level 1 hand trap. Yeah, like a Droll and Evac Veiler and some other hand traps out there that are level 1. Summon Dice. This one is actually new from the Battle Light's Revenge. Is it Battle Light's Revenge? Yes, Battle Light's Revenge. This is a cool tech. If it depends on luck, which I hate luck, so I usually will not probably use it, but it is a cool tech. However, like if you're reading the effects right now. Okay, equip spells. Cursed Armaments for sure. Amazing. It's like a noble arm that keeps sticking to your opponent. DDR. For banished monsters though, that you're really having difficulty with. Book of the Moon, this needs to be a 3. Like, why? Book of Eclipse flips all of them down. Quiet Life. Quiet Life is something I enjoy. If the opponent special summons, he can only special summon, so he loses that normal summon. And so if he does a... What do you call this? If he conducts a Nightmare Goblin, that could be his normal summon, giving him a -1. It's like a huge -1 to an opponent at any given time. Or it can be a +2. A Traffic Control, yeah, good for clearing those crappy boards. They can't attack. Sorry. Burden of the Mighty. Will I use this? Yes, maybe in True Draco. But I gotta be careful. There are cards that benefit from reduced attacks, like Heroes. I hate that. Next will be some monster attacks. Let's start with Performance Juggler. Actually, this is a hand trap, but oh well. Is it a hand trap? During either player's turn, when a card effect is activated that will inflict damage, you can discard this card, negate the activation. If you do, destroy that card. During either player's phase, you discard this card. Reduce the next battle damage you would take to 0. You can banish this card from your graveyard. Add Performance monster from your deck, except Performance Juggler. Oh, this is a hand trap, actually. A very cool tech, like Junk Kuribo does it too. But it does have a secondary effect in the graveyard, which is kind of great. Like Juggler. I forgot that was it a dancer? Performance Clown. that summons himself for the graveyard. That one's good too. Secure Gardener, like to prevent damage. Glow Up Bulb, just to increase the consistency of your synchro summons, especially when you're, oh, I need to synchro summon, bang. Penguin Soldier, a card that returns cards to the hand. It's kind of cool. It's kind of neat to have that. I used to use this card before on a rogue deck that I made with Dark Magicians, and it's really cool. Like, not only I'm destroying them with Magical Dimension, but bang. This Trudeau is probably the best card in what you see here. Well, other than Thousand Blades, actually. This one gives you the plays that you need, or like to recover. Oh, half my life points, I want to recover. Bang. There you go. Thousand Blades is a pretty good card. Is it a good card? Yeah, it's a good card. To extend your combos. Cyber Altanin is a good card for machines. It's a board wipe. It's an easier board wipe than, to summon anyway, than, what do you call that? Black Rose Dragon, as it is, like for machines anyway, because Black Rose is for more general. And I've seen this card, Team Samurai. He cleared a whole Gookie board with this card. It's pretty amazing. With the new Cyber Dragon support coming from Cybernetic Horizon. Now we're going for some hand traps and some cards. Prime. Does people use Prime? Yes. Like, just to overlay to extend Utopia the Lightning's viability for another turn. Nightmare is a good XYZ for monsters. And this one, it's not a once per turn. It's pretty crazy. As long as you have an XYZ material, you can do it twice. So that prevents your plays. It's a good It's a good card for disruption, actually. And it's just going to be sitting on defense position for the whole time. Manawato to prevent your opponent from using hand traps. Although Spirit card goes back to the hand at the end of the turn, which is kind of nice. Goddess of Sweet Revenge. Is someone gonna use this? Maybe. Like in just a certain situation. Like you can just bang. I have no cards in my hand. I only have this card. Bang. Counterattack. Summon your blue eyes from your deck. And there you go. And there you go. It's not really at all viable. It's a really good tech to give away to a friend, especially if they can't afford entrance, which is somewhat okay. Battle Fader and Scarecrow. I don't even want to talk about these cards. I hate these cards. They just prevent OTKs. DD Crow. This one's a good tech because it banishes cards that might activate in the grave that your opponent might need, or that your opponent purposely put in the grave to activate its effect. I love DD Crow, and it's a good thing that it's still on 3. I don't know why it's on 3. Well, it's not that useful anyway. It's pretty good tech still. Next, oh yes, we're about to end. Tragodia, good hand, like classic hand trap. Sage with Eyes of Blue, is it a hand trap? Like, it's more like a spell that activates on the hand. Special summons your blue eyes right away. Evil Swarm. It's a good dark version of Cyber Dragon, but it's much weaker. And it's a level 4, which is kind of nice. Gores. Yeah, I love Gores too. To flick back anything and everything that you can deal with. Okay, now moving on to the honorable mentions. Let's start with Loop of Destruction. Not that useful, but it is useful on certain situations. But it's more like for fusing Destruction Dragon on this card. Mirror Force and the other Mirror Forces, they're pretty good. Drowning probably isn't the best. Quaking is the best because they can't flip back, and it really does disrupt your opponent. Mirror Force still good, classic, but probably something I wouldn't use in a competitive standpoint. Ring of Destruction, great card. Although it's been around so many times, it kind of sucks. The original effect's still better. Card of Sacrifice is a unique tech. I've never used it before, but it does have a certain situation, and if you meet those conditions, wow, it's amazing. Magic Cylinder, classic, but nobody really uses Magic Cylinder, especially the cards that are not targetable. Meteor Flare, Double Passe. Some people use it, some people don't. I would probably use Double Passe. Dust Tornado, no. Flashbang, I love Flashbang. Flashbang! Like, it just ends the battle phase right away. Especially if your opponent attacks with their weakest monster directly. Bottomless, yeah, it's a good card. Not that great. Not that great. Yeah, not that great. Monster Reincarnation, like what they substituted for Monster Reborn back in GX, it's pretty hilarious. Nobody uses that card anymore. Well, they do. Some people do. This might come back when Danger and what do you call this? Dark World picks up again. Magician of Fate. Dark Hole. Creature Swap. I hate Creature Swap. This is the worst tech that someone can use against you. Oh, Hornet Bit, man. Creature Swap. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks so much. Anyway. Destiny Hero Dynatak. It's mostly great on Destiny D heroes, but it is useful on some, in a lot of cases that you would take forth. If you would be ending a duel, you can just discard this one. Both players take 1,000 damage per situation, right? Yugioh is pretty crazy, and this effect is pretty annoying as well. Dark Hole, for sure. Yeah, I don't like Dark Hole that much. I'd rather use Raigeki. Oh yeah, I do not have Raigeki in here because it was on my other deck. I was locked. I'm sorry. It's not that. Is it relevant? Yes, it is. But there's a lot of people that don't even use it on competitive standpoints. Forbidden Lands, Mathematician Crane, and Terrifying Toddler of Torment. Are they good? Not really, but Forbidden Lands is okay. That one is forgivable, I think. So, a little bit of an origin story. I started Yu-Gi-Oh! Back, and I've been watching the series for like the longest time, and that's the and it's been a fun journey. It's been a fun journey since I began playing it. Usually on the PC game, Kaiba the Revenge, that was like my real digital Yu-Gi-Oh! Experience. That was like my first, because I couldn't afford the cards. I bought fakes, but my teacher confiscated them and then tore them apart. Like, the next night, they didn't even return it to me. I was like, oh, that sucks. Well, it's only $2, so, and it's like a deck, so it's kind of not that bad. And then I didn't play for really long, and I played back again in 2011 for some reason, because I'd always liked the old cards. 2013, met this best friend, and introduces me back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Competitively. To Yu-Gi-Oh! Then starting when he bought his Heroes deck, and it started to get really competitive. Because then it urged me to buy Noble Knights. Noble Knights was my real, that was the deck that he wants from me. It was Noble Knights. Like I said, hey, it's really weak. It's not that strong. Then I learned that, there's a lot of equip cards in the deck. I was like, it makes it up to 4,000. Wow, so that's pretty crazy. And now Noble Knights are getting more support, hopefully more, because some of the support don't suck. Some of the support actually sucks. I'm sorry to say, but it does suck. And so far so good. Heading down to Toronto in about 12 days from now. Hopefully, what I'm planning works, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.